Close your eyes and imagine a darkness so thick it feels heavy on your chest. No distant hum of traffic. No digital standby lights blinking on an outlet. No city glow tinting the clouds a dull purple. Just absolute terrifying void. For nearly 300,000 years, this wasn't a hypothetical scenario. This was every single night. The moment the sun dipped below the horizon, the world didn't just slow down, it vanished. Survival became a game of pure sensory hyper-awareness. You couldn't see the predator stalking through the high grass 20 feet away, but you could hear the precise snap of a twig. Today, we look at the night as nothing more than an inconvenient pause in our productivity. We conquered it with a flick of a copper wire. But our ancestors didn't conquer the night. They lived in it. They negotiated with it. And what they did during those dark, silent hours didn't just help them pass the time. It literally wired the modern human brain. So, what really happened when the ancient world went dark? The history they don't teach you in school reveals that prehistoric night was not a time of empty, dead silence. It was a completely different phase of human consciousness. To understand the prehistoric night, we first have to understand the sheer physical vulnerability of our species. Biologically speaking, humans are daytime specialists. Our eyes are packed with cone cells designed to see vibrant colors under a bright sun. But the moment the light fades, our vision degrades catastrophically. We lack the tapetum lucidum, the reflective mirror-like layer behind the retina that allows leopards, owls, and wolves to amplify the faintest glimmers of starlight. To the apex predators of the Pleistocene epoch, a human wandering in the dark wasn't an apex predator anymore. We were loud, clumsy, and completely blind. We were an easy meal. For eons, the setting sun was a hard deadline. It was a biological curfew. Early hominids would seek refuge in trees, tight rock crevices, or deep caves. They would huddle together, freezing in place, using their ears as their primary radar. Every rustle of leaves, every low growl echoing in the distance, was a potential death sentence. The night was a psychological pressure cooker of pure evolutionary anxiety. But then, everything changed. Humans did something no other creature on Earth had ever done. We captured fire. The mastery of fire, which became widespread among humans hundreds of thousands of years ago, was the ultimate turning point. A campfire did something miraculous. It carved out a literal sanctuary in the middle of the hostile dark. It created a dome of light and heat roughly 30 feet wide. Inside that glowing perimeter, the rules of the ecosystem were inverted. The predators were now the ones trapped in the dark, staring blindly at the flames, terrified to come closer. For the first time in history, humans could breathe at night. But fire did something even deeper than protecting our bodies. It expanded our minds. Think about the sheer economics of time. Before fire, your useful day ended precisely at sunset. In the winter months, that meant you were confined to absolute inactivity for up to 14 hours. Fire suddenly gifted humanity a resource it had never possessed before: leisure time. And it is precisely what we did with those extra firelit hours that gave birth to human culture. In the daytime, our ancestors were consumed by the brutal logistics of survival. Talk was functional, sharp, and brief. It was about who was tracking the deer, which waterhole was dry, or which berries were poisonous. Daytime talk was about the physical world. But at night, around the hearth, the psychology of the tribe shifted. The flickering shadows on the cave walls became the very first movie screens. The crackle of burning timber became the background static for the oldest human art form: storytelling. Around the fire, humans didn't talk about logistics. They invented myths. They passed down ancestral history. They cracked jokes to ease the psychological tension of the surrounding darkness. Anthropologists tracking the few remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth have noted that late-night conversations are almost exclusively creative, philosophical, and social. Fire transformed us from animals trying not to die into creatures trying to understand why we live. If you are listening to this right now, staring at a screen or listening through headphones in the comfort of our modern world, you are part of a massive, global digital community. We gather around the glow of our devices just like our ancestors gathered around the embers of the hearth, seeking knowledge, connection, and stories. If you want to keep exploring these deep, hidden corners of human history with us, take a brief second to hit that subscribe button. Join our modern campfire. Let's keep pulling back the curtain on the mysteries of our past together. Now, while the early evening belonged to the community and storytelling, the deeper hours of the night held a secret that modern science is only now beginning to piece together. Ask anyone today how humans are supposed to sleep, and they will tell you the same thing. 8 continuous hours, in a dark room, straight through the night. If you wake up at 2 in the morning, you panic. You assume you have insomnia. You reach for a sleeping pill or scroll through your phone in frustration. But historical and biological data proves that an 8-hour block of sleep is a completely unnatural modern invention. When we look back at historical diaries, medical texts, and legal records from before the Industrial Revolution, we find a phrase repeated thousands of times across different languages: first sleep and second sleep. For the vast majority of human existence, our rest was split into 2 distinct chapters. Our ancestors would fall asleep an hour or 2 after sunset, curled up by the dying coals of the fire. They would sleep deeply for about 4 hours. Then, around midnight or 1 in the morning, the entire camp would naturally, effortlessly wake up. This was known as the watch. This wasn't a sudden, jarring awakening caused by a nightmare or stress. It was a gentle transition into a unique state of consciousness. For 1 to 2 hours, the ancient world came alive in absolute tranquility. What did they do during this midnight window? They didn't lie there stressing about the next day. The elders would check the perimeter and stoke the fire. Others would sit in total silence, staring up at a night sky so clear that the Milky Way looked like a solid river of silver light. People would interpret the dreams they had just experienced while the imagery was still fresh and vivid. Couples would talk in low, hushed tones, bonding in a way that the chaotic daytime never allowed. Modern science actually proved how deep this programming runs. In the early 1990s, researchers conducted an experiment where they placed humans in environments completely devoid of artificial light for up to 14 hours a night. Within just a few weeks, without any prompting, every single participant's biological clock reverted to the ancient ways. They stopped sleeping in one block. They naturally adopted the first sleep, the midnight watch, and the second sleep.
Even more incredible was what happened to their chemistry. During that midnight wakeful hour, the brain was found to secrete massive amounts of prolactin, a hormone associated with profound states of peace, meditation, and mental clarity. Our ancestors weren't suffering from sleeplessness. They were experiencing a daily, built-in hour of pure, meditative reflection. So, what happened to it? The answer is simple. We built an artificial sun. With the advent of gas lighting in the 19th century, and later Thomas Edison's commercial electric light bulb, humanity committed a collective act of rebellion against the natural world. We drove the darkness back. We illuminated our streets, our factories, and eventually, our bedrooms. We praised it as the ultimate triumph of human progress. We could work longer, produce more, and play later. But our biology didn't get the memo. Every time you look at a smartphone screen at 11 o'clock at night, the short wavelength blue light strikes your retina and sends a blunt, evolutionary message straight to your brain. The sun is up. Your pineal gland instantly panics and shuts down the production of melatonin, the chemical required to repair your cells and transition your mind into rest. We compressed our sleep into a single, forced 8-hour block to fit the schedule of modern factories and office jobs. We eliminated the midnight watch. We traded an entire phase of human spiritual and mental consciousness for economic efficiency. The next time you find yourself awake at 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling in the dark, don't fight it. Don't look at your phone. Don't view it as a sickness or a flaw. Listen closely to the silence. Your body isn't broken. It's just remembering. It is reaching back through 300,000 years of history, stepping out of the modern grid, and inviting you to sit by the ancient fire, if only for an hour. We conquered the night, but in doing so, we forgot how to look at the stars. But if our ancestors used the darkness to unlock the deepest secrets of human consciousness, what other ancient evolutionary programs are we suppressing in our hyper-connected modern world? The answer might lie in how they viewed the structure of time itself, a mystery we will unravel in the video appearing on your screen right now.